Oh, good morning. I couldn't tell that it was on. I'm Mesdeline, and the oracle card that I drew today is just so beautiful. It's Softly, Softly, the Tender Touch. So today's is about what I call the Divine Feminine. The feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to gain greater things, but don't necessarily have a proportionally greater supply of energy at our disposal, it's time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of feminine wisdom. And I just have to stop right there and tell you a little story. I once had a freezer. Someone had given us a freezer, and it was sitting in our driveway for weeks and weeks, and my ex-husband, never moved it into the garage. One day I got tired of seeing it there, so I just tipped it and rocked it and walked it into the back of the garage. And he came home from work and he's like, "Who helped you move that freezer in?" And I said, "Nobody." He goes, "No, really, who helped you?" And I said, "Nobody, I moved it myself." "That's impossible." No, it's not impossible, because he would have tried to pick it up. And that's probably why it sat there for so long. All of a sudden, I got this awareness. Ding! Oh, I get it now. That's why he wasn't moving it. I don't have brute strength. So I had to figure out a different way of doing it. That feminine wisdom. However, a cultural ignorance of the feminine way currently prevails, okay? We are generally taught that the more force we use, the more we try to make things happen, the more we will achieve. The feminine way is not about force, nor is it about driving, striving, pushing, or grabbing at what we want, at what we can in order to create. It's about inviting what we wish for to come into the space we have provided for it, internally and in our lives. This method cultivates more energy, causes less stress, and attracts what is desired. It is manifestation by invitation rather than by will or force. There's an old story about the sun and the wind debating about who was more powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with a coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped his coat around himself more tightly to protect himself against the force of the wind. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He shone down, becoming brighter and brighter until the man slipped off his coat, slung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, quite possibly wondering what was happening to the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do just by being. So this oracle brings you the message that you don't have to push quite so hard to receive what is naturally coming to you. It's okay to become softer, to feel the energy of what you wish to attract into your life. You're part of a global healing manifestation process, and that's what I have been teaching the last few years. It's that divine feminine qualities are what's going to heal our world. You are, through your way of being in the world, helping to birth a new awareness. This new way will heal the human heart and bring it back into balance with nature. This is essential for the human soul to survive, flourish, and to cooperatively nurture the earth rather than destroy her natural resources. You may or may not be consciously aware of the extent to which this new way of manifesting through receiving rather than taking can actually help all of humanity, but nonetheless, it is playing an important role in greater human evolution. It is the power of attraction, of magnetism, rather than that of striving and force, that will replenish your energy and restore your body, mind, and heart. after your struggle. This change in approach will encourage the shift from head to heart that is essential for your individual well-being and for the greater human evolution. Does this give you absolute permission now in your own mind to take an easier approach to your sacred, rebellious creative manifestation? I love that. So I have this friend that she doesn't take care of herself. She takes care of everybody else. I used to be that person, right? Until I made myself, till I became very sick. And the same thing happened to her. She's become very sick. And so I explained to her the awareness that I came to, that it's not selfish to take care of myself, because as I said yesterday, in yesterday's video, that I can't help fill anybody else up from an empty cup. So as I take care of myself, I'm better able to help other people. And so that's what I told her. Take care of yourself, and then you're actually doing it for other people, whatever it takes, to feel that permission to take care of yourself. It's not selfish. It's not being self-centered. It's about taking care of yourself so that you can do more in the world. So one of the lessons that I teach in my Divine Feminine teachings is that, goes along with this card, gentleness is equally powerful to aggression. It's just in a different way. It's equal but different. So aggression is that pushing. I've seen people yell at their kids, because the kids are fighting and they're yelling at them, go to your room and do this and shut up and stop it and whatever, And then I'll see kids fighting, and I'll just go up to them. I mean, kids that I know, not perfect strangers, and just say, okay, what's going on here? And they both start, well, and I say, no, you go first and you tell me. And then the other one starts, no, you just let them talk, and then they tell me. And then the other one, when they're done, it's like, well, and you tell me. And then the next thing I know, they're playing together, right? They just needed to be heard. I didn't yell at them. I didn't threaten them. I just quietly and calmly asked them to tell me what was going on, and both of them equally. And so it's just a different way of, in fact, I think that was more powerful than the yelling at them, which is that aggressive force, and mine was that gentle approach. It works with kids, it works with the world, okay? I once had, in Belly Dance Land, a vendor come up to me at one of my very first events, and she started yelling at me, and you gave me the worst vending spot, and you, and I'm not gonna, and she's just yelling, and there's all these people gathered around, and they're all seeing her like verbally assault me, right? And I just looked at her, and I said, I am so sorry that you're unhappy. Please tell me what I can do to help things be better for you. And she just started sputtering. Well, I'll have to think about it. And she turned around and walked away, right? Now, if I had yelled at her, I would have just added fuel to the fire of that woman. And she turned around and walked away. She did all the things that she said she wasn't going to do. She was perfectly happy the rest of the day. And some of these people had seen her in action before, and they came up to me and they said, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anybody bring her down or calm her down before or whatever. That's the power of gentleness. People just want to be heard. And like I've said before, they're acting that way because they're upset or they're in pain. It's not personal. It's not about you. Something's wrong with them. And you just take that gentle approach. You swallow down that part of you that wants to say, hey, woman, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do what you say I did, whatever. That doesn't matter because it's not about you, right? It's about them. Using that gentleness to just listen to them, to validate them, and that's a healing force. That gentleness is a healing force. Okay? That's what I want you to remember. That that beautiful card, softly, softly, the tender touch. The tender touch will take you so much further, and it's that divinely feminine quality that is going to heal the world. Namaste.